Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Please be seated. First, like to, on behalf of all of us on council, wish everyone a very happy New Year, and hope everybody had a pleasant holiday season. And I trust everyone has had a moment to read our acknowledgement to our First Nations, the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam, and the beautiful artwork on the screen. Also, I'd like to announce that Council has this evening made the following appointments to the Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee. And we are very grateful to everyone who comes forward to volunteer, and we recognize that there will be some people disappointed that they may have put their names forward and weren't chosen. It's a very difficult task. But we're grateful to Cameron Monsif, Paris Motemadi, Kristen Hall, Stephen Price, Kim Burnett, Monique Wilberg, and Scott Swan for their willingness to serve on the Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee. Just before we turn to the formal agenda, one thing I think all of us need to broadcast out is that Hydro is doing work on 15th. And we're really concerned. They were going to start today. They're going to start on the 17th. And May 15th is essentially going to be closed between Mathers and Queens. And so if you have friends that use that route, encourage them. It'll be open sometimes, not other times. I'd avoid it. So with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda. Councillor Cassidy.
I recommend that the January 15th, 2024 regular council meeting agenda be approved as circulated.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Watt. Thank you. Question, all in favor? Contrary, carried. Adoption of the minutes. Councillor Gambioli, please.
Yes, I would like to recommend excuse me, that the following minutes be adopted as circulated: June 8th, 2023, September 27th, 2023, October 3rd, 2023, October 12th, 2023, October 23rd, 2023, November 23rd, 2023, December 4th, 2023, and December 11th, 2023 special, but not regular council meeting, and December 19th, 2023.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Lambert. Question, all in favor? Contrary, carried. And so this evening, we start the new year as we did last year, and with presentations from a number of people. Thank you for coming tonight. And to all of you, before we begin, we're just extremely grateful for your volunteer service to our community. It is all of the organizations that are making presentations tonight that help make West Vancouver something very special. So we're going to start this evening with the Lighthouse Park Preservation Society and their annual presentation.
May I?
Of course. Be grateful. Thank you.
There we go. So Parks, Culture and Community Services has the great privilege to work alongside many different independent community groups, not-for-profit societies and boards, all working to enhance the great community of West Van. So the presentations tonight will be shared on the work they've accomplished and the plans they have in 2024. And as you've already said, we're so lucky to work with these community volunteers, and I think you'll see tonight all the great work that they've done and the plans they have for 2024.
Thank you so much. Ms. Kettler. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councillors. I'm Daphne Hales. I sit on the volunteer board of directors of the Lighthouse Park Preservation Society. So I bring greetings from the society. I hope you've all had an opportunity to get to the park and see the wonderful tree cookie that we put up there with great help from the Parks Department just over a year ago. It is extremely popular as it's its history.
I believe we all have been out there, yes.
Wonderful. We're now in our 26th year of volunteer stewardship of Lighthouse Park and the 5 nearby parks, Caulfield, the Dale, Clutchman, Trails, and North Piccadilly. We have about 136 members and many additional volunteers and school groups, and we are really thankful for our successful relationship with the Parks Department. It's wonderful working with them. We're fortunate indeed to be the stewards of a unique urban old-growth forest and its nearby green spaces. Much of our work is really hands-on, removing invasive species and replanting to restore the natural integrity of these parks. And quite apart from their environmental and aesthetic benefits for the community, these parks are also healing places for our residents and our visitors. The World Health Organization describes nature as our greatest source of health and well-being. Green prescriptions issued by doctors to improve mental and physical health are increasingly common worldwide and in Canada too. And our parks are where those prescriptions are filled. We also educate people. Our biannual newsletter includes scientific articles and news about our events, and I have just emailed the January copy to you all. We also put on a series of walks and talks each year, often in collaboration with the West Van Memorial Library. Last year, we showed you pictures of volunteers working in Lighthouse Park. So this time, we're highlighting two of the neighboring parks where we work. Mulgrave students worked with us to tackle the ivy that's rampant in Caulfield Park. Over 6 sessions last year, they have cleared out huge carpets of ivy, released tall trees from the stranglehold of thick ivy trunks, and happily uncovered native ferns and plants. It's win-win. The invasive ivy is removed, and the students learn how to preserve our natural environment. The Dale Park, abutting Lighthouse Park, was an impenetrable mess of brambles, ivy, laurel, and lamium just a few years ago, and the stream running through it into Caulfield Cove was completely overgrown. The top left picture shows the lamium, which formed a thick carpet, likely the results of hanging basket material being thrown into the forest. We tried 4 experiments to eradicate the lamium. The most successful was covering it with heavy black plastic, as you can see in the bottom photo. After 2 years, the lamium had died, and we were able to replant, as you can see in the large photo on the right. So thousands of volunteer hours. 10 years later, this park is once again filled with native plants, with a clear stream bed from Marine Drive right down to the sea. And the threat of invasive species getting into Lighthouse Park from there has abated, but we'll keep checking on it. In Lighthouse Park itself, our volunteers keep conducting roving ivy pulls to remove stragglers and any patches of new growth. We are really pleased with how well the sword ferns and other native plants have grown in the areas we have replanted, particularly along this path. They were barren edges on each side of the fence, and now look how verdant it is. And this is Birdsong Path, our wheelchair-accessible path. We're also thrilled with how well the gravelled surface on this path, put in by the Parks Department, has stood up to all kinds of weather, even the frost these last few days. It's imperative that this surface stays smooth and pristine so that visitors using canes, walkers, wheelchairs, crutches, and strollers can be confident that they needn't worry about any obstacles. And lastly, you are the first people to see our 3 new interpretive signs, which we've made specially for Birdsong Path, with support from our generous donors and grantors, among them the West Vancouver Foundation and St. Francis in the Wood Church. The signs were delivered today to the Operations Centre, and we're looking forward to the Parks Department installing them for us. So come and see them very soon. I thank you for your interest and concern in our green spaces. We do thank you for looking after them so well and keeping them green and healthy, partly with our help, but also especially with our Parks Department. We thank you, Parks Department, and we also acknowledge our wonderful volunteers who do put in the really hard work. Thank you.
That was a truly wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Councillor Thompson.
Yes, thank you so much. It was an absolutely delightful presentation, and we in council here in the community in general, and people visiting Lighthouse Park, I just can't express how much we appreciate your dedication to this park, knowing full well it's just, you don't just sweep through once and things are done. That's ongoing dedication to make sure work is done and then maintained. And it's nice to see you partnering with young, energetic groups like the Mulgrave Group, because it really helps. And quite honestly, how many years have you been in existence now? 26. So I'm pretty sure your cumulative dedication of volunteer hours has exceeded hundreds of thousands of dollars in value in our community. And it's just an extraordinary, well-dedicated group. So thank you so much.
And a motion.
And I'd just like to say, I'd like to recommend that the Lighthouse Park Preservation Society annual presentation be received for informations with gratitude.
Thank you, and Councillor Cassidy. Thank you. Any discussion? Question? All in favor? Contrary, carried again. Thank you so much. And now we're going to have the opportunity to hear from the Old Growth Conservancy Society. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Good evening, Mayor Sager and Council. I'm Alan Bardsley, President of the Old Growth Conservancy Society. And let's move on to our slide here. Yes, and David is one of our directors and author of the Marr Creek to Brothers Creek Old Growth Study. Now, last year at this time, I told you about the history of the Conservancy, the golf course referendum, and how the society was formed, bringing together for the first time both the conservation and recreation communities. But that's last year. Let's talk about what's happening now. I mean, we continue to appreciate the support of the Parks Department, especially Corinne Amber and Samantha Penner. Their support makes all our activities just that little bit easier. It's a diverse group up on Cypress Mountain, and we strive to maintain good relations with all our neighbors, including the Cypress Ski Area, Hollyburn Ridge Association, British Pacific Properties, Friends of Cypress, and the North Shore Mountain Bike Association. And off mountain, of course, we keep in touch with the Lighthouse Park people and the stream keepers. And of course, we're always there at Community Day. Okay. Our ongoing monitoring program continues to watch for signs of human impact on the Conservancy, thanks largely to the efforts of Director Marshall Bauman. These days, most of his time is taken up with invasive species, especially around parking lot number 5, where he cuts the seeds off the reed canary grass and pulls other invasives as appropriate. But our main activity continues to be the guided tours. Minor typo on the screen there. We had 12 tours last year, not 16. We cut some of them. The Brothers Creek tour was just far too physically demanding. But our tours continue to be fully booked each summer. And this year we're partnering with Insight Global Education for a series of 5 Conservancy tours for students in June. The 2024 dates will be announced at our AGM on February 28th. And at the AGM, the feature presentation will be Dr. Alan Larocque on fish, forests, and fungi, soils in the salmon forests of BC. Now, one of the problems we have with the guided tours, though, is that with just 6 public tours of the Conservancy, we can only reach a limited audience. So we developed a self-guided audio tour, kind of a Reader's Digest version that covers the first half of the in-person tour. Now, last year we had it professionally narrated, and this year we ported it to the Story platform, which has the advantage of not needing a network because there's no network connectivity up there in the Conservancy. So you can scan the QR code to preview the tour in a browser, but to take the tour in person, you need to install the free Story Guide app on your smartphone and download the tour. And I'll send you links on how to do that later. Now, last year, I told you about David's study of the old growth in the Marr Creek to Brothers Creek area. Here's the slide showing the location of it, just east of the Conservancy. This is an area that we would love to see protected as parkland. It's roughly 5 times the size of the Conservancy and has almost double the biodiversity, and the trees are huge. There are 5 trees larger than the biggest tree in the Conservancy, including one that we know as Sash's tree. It's 3.4 meters in diameter. That's over 11 feet for the old measurements. Okay, and the area is also more accessible with a network of both hiking and biking trails. Now, David Cook would like to say a few words about
Yeah,
Why
a
we should
few
protect.
additional words about the study. There are approximately 400 old-growth trees in this this red area that's outlined on the figure, and the study took place over a period of 7 years or 7 seasons, and focused on the ecology of an old-growth forest and its preservation for future generations. It is the largest old-growth area on the North Shore. Because of the large size of the area, it is more likely to retain its ecological integrity over time and resist introduction of invasive species. So I strongly recommend that the District of West Vancouver dedicate the entire area as natural parkland or conservation area, and further development of trails and other man-made structures be carefully monitored. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I suspect, gentlemen, you're going to be extremely pleased with some announcements. I don't know whether we'll be doing that tonight, but under Councillor Lambert's wise counsel, we will be doing something, I believe. Councillor Lambert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, thank you for your presentation. And I think it's safe to say that more now than ever before, it's important to acknowledge the crucial role that trees play in sustaining our environment. And nothing really shows this better than the Old Growth Conservancy, and we thank you for your stewardship of this valuable resource. And as the Mayor has noted, we will be coming forward very shortly with a notice of motion to dedicate approximately 3,000 acres of land above in the upper levels. That includes the Mar Creek to Brothers Creek Old Growth Forest area as parkland. So stay tuned, and
Thank you.
thank you again.
I think you'll be very pleased.
Thank you very much. We'll be
Thank you
looking
for
forward
joining
to
us
it.
this evening, and could I have a motion, Councillor Lambert?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Sager. Recommend that the Old Growth Conservancy Society annual presentation be received for information with thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Snyder. Discussion, all those in favor? Contrary, carried. Thanks so much. And yes, gentlemen, it's going to be an exciting year. You'll be happy, I'm quite confident. That's if everyone agrees. We'll now invite the Hollyburn Ridge Association, and I had the great pleasure of joining you for your annual barbecue this summer, which was so much fun. Wonderful, wonderful group of people.
It's a great time had by all.
It was. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Karen Grant, VP of the HRA and second generation cabin owner. My dad, Jack Laidman, hand-built his cabin in 1944 with the help of his long-life friend, Norm Deacon. Jack was just 17 years old. Throughout the years, my mom and dad would go up Hollyburn by ferry, then by bus, then by chairlift, and by foot, routes used by hikers, skiers, and cabin owners alike. As a young family, we would hike 2 hours up the Old Forks Main Trail every Sunday to the cabin. Our cabin in Casa Loma is now 80 years old and continues to be a labor of love. To this day, I still enjoy the beauty and the solitude of our cabin on the ridge, and I'm forever grateful to my parents for this precious time on Hollyburn. And now I'd like to introduce Tammy Riley, the president of the HRA, who will fill you in on what the association's been up to.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Karen, and thank you, Mayor Sager and council members, for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. So the Hollyburn Ridge Association, who are we? Well, we're a member-based association. We support a forward-thinking heritage community. We have approximately 300 members, half of which are cabin owners, and half of which are folks just happy to be on a mountain and want to belong to an association that loves being there too. We have approximately 100 active cabins. As those who may have gone through the woods lately, you know that we don't have power or services or road access, but we do have a lot of what shall we say, character. Some cabins are now third-generation families that have passed them along. The basic objectives of the HRA are to preserve, protect, and maintain the cabin area on Hollyburn Ridge, including its unique history and heritage, to promote the recreational use and public access to the Hollyburn Ridge area, and to negotiate with all levels of government and other stakeholders, and to encourage and promote the aims and objectives of the HRA. Our goals for 2024. Well, as all these groups here, we are too based on volunteerism, and we maintain a strong board of 14 and membership with volunteerism at its core. We have a great desire to maintain our heritage and honor our cabin community in that way through projects and events. We love collaborating and continue to work with mountain stewards, stakeholders, and the wider community to share and preserve this wonderful West Van heritage. Our other goal for 2024 focuses more directly upon our beloved ranger station and to support council and parks efforts to bring it back to life, and our loved Hollyburn Lodge to support it being more of a shared use community hub throughout the year, as well as it being a great place to enjoy a burger and live music on a Saturday night in the wintertime. Some of the projects that we embark upon, we restore and maintain the cabins. They're not just owned by individuals. We feel they're owned by us all in a way to, and we have the onus to ensure that they stay in great shape. We rebuild the trails for all to enjoy. We need them as a way to get to our cabins. Most of us walk in, but also they're there for anyone to enjoy a walk through nature. We helped rebuild the Hollyburn Lodge through volunteer builders and also through fundraising. And we love hosting our snowshoe tours in conjunction with the District of West Van Heritage Week. We host 4 or 5 snowshoe tours, afternoons, walk in the woods, a little history along the way, and a stop at someone's cabin for some hot chocolate and popcorn. And anyone here can come. And we also host cabin open houses where we get to come inside cabins, see what they're like, and enjoy some camaraderie. That's the word. And mountain debris yearly cleanup. We do this, there's a lot of debris from maybe the 40s and 50s that we kind of like comes out of the ground that we then pack out to a point where then the District of West Van crew takes over and disposes of it responsibly. And we do other things, of course, like host mountain art shows. We publish twice yearly Ridge Runner magazine, which has a lot of history of the area along with current events. We also distribute a brochure that we have available up the mountain for folks that are just hiking up there that tell a little bit about the area. And we host a website, of course. We communicate with the District of West Van and Cypress Mountain on behalf of our cabin owners. And we support press on stories to benefit the community and tourism, such as the recent article this month in BC Magazine about the Hollyburn Lodge's 100th year. And we publish an update location using GPS coordinates for our cabin. That got done, a new cabin map got done this year, which was a great project. So that's all. We would love anyone and everyone to come up and enjoy the Ridge. This was a little video clip that showed you how to saw a log, but you'll just have to come to our next summer barbecue. I'm sure Mayor Sager got to see that in person this past September, and we invite you, everyone, to enjoy it next year. And thank you.
Thanks so much, and it really was a wonderful day, and I would encourage everybody to go up and see this little wonderful piece of history in our community. It's really fun.
And could I just also say thank you to the Parks Department, Corinne Amber, and our wonderful Parks Forester, Alex Chernin, for all that they do for us to keep us well up there. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Watt.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I absolutely love snowshoeing up there and really getting a window into a different way of life that fortunately your group has maintained, and I really appreciate that. And I had wanted to go up in September, but I was recovering from a surgery, so I was not able to do that, but I do look forward to next year.
This year?
Thank you.
This year.
This
Yeah.
year.
Oh, God, it is this year.
It's this
Yes.
We
year.
are correct.
Indeed.
And you're in great form now, so
I
there'll be
am.
no excuse.
Yes, I have 2 walking legs now, so it's all good. Thank you very much. And on that note, I would like to recommend that the Hollyburn Ridge Association annual presentation be received and retrieved for information with thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Snyder. Question, all those in favor? Contrary carried. Thank you. And now the North Shore Mountain Bike Association annual presentation.
Excellent. Good evening, Mayor Sager and councillors. My name is Deanne Cote, and I'm the Executive Director for the North Shore Mountain Bike Association. I'm thrilled to be here this evening to tell you more about our organization and how we're making an impact in the District of West Vancouver. Established in 1997, the NSMBA has been the voice for mountain bikers and trail users on the North Shore for over 25 years. Formed from the need to advocate to keep recreational trails open and accessible to the entire community, and not just for mountain bikers, the North Shore and the organization have grown to become world-renowned. You can't go to any mountain bike community without finding at least one trail or feature modeled after the shore. We continue to innovate and expand with a vision of trails for all, trails forever. We continue to strive to make our North Shore trail communities welcoming for people from all walks of life, and that the networks remain accessible to them forever. With more than 3,100 active members, 40 volunteer builders out on the trails, our dedicated board of directors and staff, our community continues to grow and give back in extraordinary ways. Here's a snapshot of our organization's impact in 2023. Now, this covers all of the work that we've done across the entire North Shore, including Mount Seymour, Mount Frome, and the Cypress East Trails. We actually had over 10,000 volunteer hours because we had some volunteers get their hours in late after our AGM this year. We posted well over 100 public trail days, engaged with over 1,500 volunteers, of which 500 had never attended a trail day before, and over 350 of them were youth. We engaged with schools from across the shore, Scouts groups, Air Cadets, Girl Guides, and the High School Mountain Bike League as well. We also hosted our first ever Women's Trans Non-Binary Dig series, the first of its kind in an effort to keep expanding our inclusivity. In 2022, we launched our first ever 5-year strategic plan. All priorities, objectives, and goals were created to fulfill our purpose and vision of Trails for All, Trails Forever. Pillar 1 around responsible land use, we continue to lead advocacy efforts, build community partnerships, and develop trail work best practices, resulting in Trails Forever. Pillar 2, with community impact, we strive to attract and retain a diverse group of people, builders, staff, board, volunteers, and members in our Trails for All. Pillar 3 is financial resilience. As a nonprofit, we continue to work to secure a sustainable future for the organization and plan ways to fund growth to ensure Trails Forever. All of the work we do on and off of the trails connect back to these 3 pillars. Just as our builders were pioneers of the sport back in the early 90s, the strategic plan is helping to pioneer the future growth of the organization. Ooh, I'm running out of time. But let's talk about the impact we've had specifically in West Vancouver. So in 2021, in partnership with British Pacific Properties and the District of West Vancouver, and after 15 years of advocacy work by our friend Alan Bardsley, 3 trails in the Cypress East area became official. Jersey Shore, Morgies, and Meat Sweats are the first sanctioned trails in West Vancouver. In 2023, we secured a grant through the Fox Trail Trust of around $13,000 to help support our 3 builders, Mark, Kevin, and Ian, in hosting public trail days. This financial support allowed the trio to host over 20 trail days, which brought in over 200 volunteers and then 1,200 volunteer hours on the 3 trails. In the same area, the NSMBA has partnered with Jeremy Power of Rare Earth to complete the machine build of a new hiking bidirectional, oh, my notes are backwards. new bi-directional hiking trail. There we go. It's mountain bike climb only. That will connect from the Lookout up to West Lake Road, where the existing trails start. Once the machine work is completed, the NSMBA will leverage other community organizations to complete the tread work and renaturalization on the trail side. This new route will provide a safer way for mountain bikers to get to the top of the trails without having to ride up Cypress Bowl Road, and provide a safe place for hikers to travel through the area. Construction of the approximately 4-kilometer trail began in July of 2023, and we're estimating to complete the project in the fall of 2024, and that's weather and soil condition dependent. This project is supported through funds from British Pacific Properties and the District of West Vancouver. And we were also just recipients of a matching grant through the West Vancouver Foundation this year to work with local Indigenous artists to create art to install along the trail to engage the trail users. We look forward to hosting you all when the trail is ready to open to the public. And I'd also like just to quickly express our gratitude to the District of West Van Park staff, especially with Corinne Ambor and Erin Harass, as it continues to be a pleasure working with them on all of our projects. So thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you. And just, do you have an estimated opening time for the trail?
Fall of 2024.
Is it? Well, it'd be wonderful. I can't help but just share with you, when I was going up to the Hollyburn Ridge Cabin annual barbecue, I noticed on the side of it, as everyone was driving up, a white bicycle. And of course, we all know what that means. Kind of puts a bit of a perspective on the whole day. And then just as we went around the next curve in the road, there was a cyclist who was hit by a car riding up the hill. Mm-hmm. And this has led me to believe, and perhaps you could help, I love this idea of the off-road trail, but I firmly believe that we need a dedicated bike path up beside the road. There's lots of people who love that beautiful ride. I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. But boy, it's just tough to drive by and see somebody you just don't expect as you're riding up the hill that you're going to get knocked over. And perhaps you could help our little lobbying effort on that.
Absolutely.
as well.
Mountain bikers or cyclists, whether on the road or on the trails. So
we just want them safe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Councillor Thompson.
Deanna, I just want to thank you so much. I'm really excited to see a trail building group. I think the first in West Vancouver. You know, we've got trail building groups from North Vancouver up the Sea to Sky. And, you know, this is going to be the game changer for this type of amenity. It's just, there's so many trails and it's such a laborious task for our own staff to take on. And I know you guys do amazing work. So Alan, I know you did a lot of work to steward this through. And Deanna, I know you've been working on the North Shore for years getting this done. So it's very exciting. And I think before this council was elected, staff took us up to walk the trail probably a year and a half ago before you started your work. And holy cow, it looks a lot nicer now. So I think at some time soon we should, when the snow's gone, perhaps get staff or council back up to show them the types of areas you're getting into. And, you know, I'm hoping, you know, you're a new group, and in 26 years, like Lighthouse Park Preservation Society, you're going to be coming back and talking about the, 30 trails you're doing. So thank you. Thank you for your kind work. I think also council should be invited up to help you work on these trails.
Absolutely.
And at the very least, I know some of us will look forward to the opening ride day. That'll be fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Councillor Thompson, could I ask for a motion?
Oh, right. Okay, I'd like to make recommendation that the North Shore Mountain Biking Association, their annual presentation be received for information with thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Gambioli. Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Question? All in favor? Contrary? Carried. Thank you. And now our wonderful jewel of the community, the Kay Meek Arts Centre. And our new executive director is with us tonight.
So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
To all of you. And Andy Krosik, I have the privilege of being the chair of the Kay Meek Advisory Center Board. And with me is our new executive director, Melissa Dushak, who you'll be happy to know will be doing the great majority of the presentation. I just wanted to I just wanted to take a couple of moments to, first of all, wish everybody a Happy New Year. Secondly, tell you how much the KMEEC appreciates the support that we have received from the district for the 20 years. And by the way, this is the free plug that we are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year, and will be on November 23rd, more to follow. And we really couldn't do it without the district, but we hope we also provide a value added to the district. So wanted to extend my thanks for the support, both financial and personal, from each one of you as you make your way, and of course the community as you make your way to the Jewel, as thank you, Mr. Mayor, you've called it, on Mathers, whether parking or even circulation on 15th is accessible or not. So without further ado, let me introduce, it is my pleasure to introduce our new executive director. Melissa joined us 3 months ago after a very purposeful search by an executive search firm, and I'm pleased to say that we have landed, and we have landed very well. So without any more, please, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. And it's a privilege and a pleasure to be here and to meet all of you, some of whom I have already met. So let me get to it. KMEEC Arts Centre is West Vancouver's only professional performing arts centre, as you know. And just a note there on the bottom, our 4 values: welcoming, so we strive to be a place that is welcoming to all. Engaging, once you're in the building, we want to engage you one way or the other with great art and entertainment. Learning, of course, we are connected to the school and we do provide services to the school. Plus, we have a youth conservatory every summer. And finally, leading our community, both as a community association, place for the community to come, but also as an arts organization. So the governance and management of the KMEEC, we have a board of directors, 12 directors elected by general membership. We also have a very active legacy council. Those are retired directors who want to still and have a lot to offer the organization. And they're also long-term supporters. And then finally, our staff. We have 7 full-time staff and approximately 12 part-time staff, and 70 active volunteers who are there 5, 6, 7 days a week. For 22-23, our events summary, you can see that we had 86 presentations that we hosted ourselves. School District 45 had 63 bookings. That was up from 38. The community rentals, so that's the rentals that are not the ones that we host or not the school district, was 137. 115 of those above were youth focused. That's a total of 286 events last year, up from 243 the year before. So as you can see, 3 days out of 4, there is something happening at the KMEEC Arts Centre. And you can also see there's a 64% increase of the people that we welcomed into the building. As you know, it's been a hard time for arts in the last few years over the pandemic, so we're very happy to see that things are coming back to a new normal. Just to talk a little bit about revenues, 1.4 million, 1.5 million annual operating revenues. We're very proud and pleased about the spread here of the percentage. 30% of our revenues are from our own presentations, 34 are rentals, so those are the community rentals, and fundraising sponsorships 16%, 20% government grants, and that includes the very generous 10% from the District of West Vancouver. And I think you'll find that is a very healthy spread compared to a lot of our arts organizations that depend more heavily on other kinds of funding. So, strategic outcomes for the future. So as I mentioned, operations are at that new normal. We're having slowly returning audiences. Last week on Thursday and Friday, we had 2 sold-out shows of our cabaret series. We're really pleased about that. I'm not going to talk about myself. That's the second point. Andy already did that. But I will say that I have a real commitment to education. That is part of my background as well as being the arts. So this is something that we've been talking a lot about. How can we have even more impact educationally? And overall staffing is stabilizing. We continue to work with building relationships with all of our different presenting partners from the Lower Mainland communities. School District 45, Capilano University, we have students doing a showcase coming up very soon, government agencies, sponsors, donors, etc. And we are currently engaging with Squamish Nation. We've had an excellent meeting before Christmas. We've got some plans for artwork, and they will hopefully be helping us celebrate our 20th anniversary season. Last week, we also had a strategic session with the staff and the board, and we worked on our vision for the next 5 years. How am I doing? 30 seconds.
Very well.
Okay. So that is a plan that is underway, and the most exciting part of that for me, I feel like, yes, it's been a great time to land because we are going to launch our 20th anniversary season in May. We're celebrating all year long. As Andy mentioned, there's going to be a big gala November 23rd, but the idea is to celebrate the success of the Kay-Meek Arts Centre the first 20 years and look forward to the next 20 years. I think that's my last slide. Yes, it was. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. I can't help but comment because my mom was very dear friends with Kay-Meek, how very, very proud she would be of this facility and all of the joy and happiness it's brought into the community. So Andy, to you and your board members, and Melissa, to you and your staff, thank you so much. And Councillor Gambioli?
Yes, and I too would like to thank especially your volunteers, 12 members of the board, 7 members of your legacy council, and 70 volunteers. That's impressive, and it obviously looks like you've got lots of good energy, new energy. And is it 20 years already? That's hard to believe. Yeah. Wow, time flies, right? It's sort of depressing. Anyway, interesting presentation related to the healthy revenue spread, as you said, that I haven't seen before. And you're right, it's a great culture and community gathering place. And I'm looking forward to an event on Saturday night. So thank you so much for all your work. The motion is that the Kay-Meek Arts Centre annual presentation be received for information with thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Watt. Thank you. Discussion, question, all in favor? Contrary, carried. Thank you so much. And now from our wonderful West Vancouver Community Arts Council. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Sager and councillors, and Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Jennifer Lord, and I'm the Executive Director of the West Vancouver Community Arts Council. Thank you for this opportunity to showcase our programs, activities, and services from the past year. It was wonderful to fully open our doors to our community to celebrate the arts together as we welcomed close to 17,000 visitors to our many programs at the Silk Purse Arts Centre in 2023. My team and I are passionate about what we do, and our goal is to provide engaging, educational, and inspiring arts and cultural programs and services for our community. What makes us unique is our multidisciplinary programming. Art inspires, and the growing attendance for our art exhibitions, music series, and community engagement activities demonstrates the need and desire in our community for the arts. In our 2 exhibition series, a jury of peers makes selections from a call to artists. Our exhibitions feature artists working in a variety of mediums, from promising youth to accomplished mid-career and senior artists, and include 14 exhibitions at the Silk Purse Gallery and 6 at the Kay-Meek Arts Centre in partnership with the Kay-Meek Arts Centre. Along with these in-person exhibitions, we host virtual art talks, inviting the artists to speak about their work and process with a hosted Q&A session. These talks provide a virtual gallery tour for viewers at home and less able to join us in person. Overall, this initiative supports artists, inspires viewers, and connects our community. To experience music live in the presence of others is a truly unique and often transformative experience. We offer 2 live musical performance series. Our classical concert series runs from September through June, featuring talented trios, duos, and solo performers, while lively jazz fills the air in our Summer Jazzways series. All these concerts take place at the intimate Silk Purse on the waterfront, providing a unique, up-close and personal musical experience. And in the summer, we throw open our doors, welcoming our community to participate in art making by joining an outdoor community choir for Singing by the Sea, by discovering where you live through art and music at our First Thursdays Art Walk evenings in partnership with the West Vancouver Art Museum, the West Vancouver Memorial Library, and the Ferry Building Gallery, and by building a temporary outdoor art piece together with others. This year's community art project, Tree Build, conceived and designed by North Shore artist Matt Monroe, invited the public to come together to create a whimsical, colorful, oversized sculpture in the form of a tree. Creating Tree Build as a community underscored the cooperation necessary to safeguard our planet. Together with our hardworking and creative staff, volunteers, and board of directors, we offer dynamic arts and cultural programs and services to our community 50 weeks of the year, inspiring visitors, participants, and our over 600 members. For a small organization, partnerships are key to enhancing our programs, and our ongoing funders essential for us to chart a path forward. We thank the District of West Vancouver for annual core support through a fee-for-service agreement. And with a budget of $250,000, we are optimistic the Council will support our request for increased funding so that we can continue to deliver this level and caliber of arts and cultural programs and services to our community. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We're very, very grateful. Councillor Cassidy.
Thank you very much for a delightful presentation. I know that all those individuals who attend your exhibits and the musical performances are absolutely thrilled. It's the arts which give a community, a city, it's what gives it a heart and a soul, really. So thank you very much for all the work that you do. Thank you.
And could I ask you for a motion?
You certainly may. So I would like to recommend that the West Vancouver Community Arts Council annual presentation be received for information with thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'll call a question. All in favor? Contrary? Carried. And now from our wonderful enhanced West Van board. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council members, and thank you so much for having us here tonight and giving us the opportunity to share the highlights from 2023 from Enhance West Van. Tonight, I would like to introduce you to our board chair, Peter Katavadis, who is going to present on behalf of Enhance West Van.
Thank you, Jody.
Thanks very much.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you for the important public service that you give this community. I'd like to start by thanking Councillor Watt for acting as our council liaison this past year and supporting the many meetings, events, engagements that West Van's hosted. So Enhance West Van is proud to report that in 2023, the Society provided almost $150,000 in financial support to enhance programs, services, and equipment at the West Vancouver Community Centre, Aquatic Centre, and Ice Arena. A few examples of this support include our Intro to Hockey program for children with autism that ran for a second successful year in partnership with West Van Minor Hockey, provided the volunteers. We got the community together to enjoy some pancakes with Santa, as we do every December. The many youth programs that we fund to support youth employment and empowerment to help kids get that elusive first job. Our programs and activities for our two-spirited lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, and more youth, trying to minimize acronyms as my NYR, which is New Year's resolution, and our welcoming and inclusive committees program that is unlike any other program on the North Shore and provides programs, resources, and outreach to support and connect newcomers into the community. A key part of Enhance West Van's mission is to ensure that our community centre is a welcoming and inclusive community hub. We're very proud to have engaged with a broad range of community members and user groups over the past year and will continue to look for ways to engage even further moving into 2024. Since inception, Enhance West Van has cumulatively funded over $1.3 million in enhanced services, programs, and equipment at the Community Center, Aquatic Center, and Ice Arena. These are significant value adds to the families and individuals using our facilities without the burden of additional tax dollars being needed. The primary goal of these contributions is to build community, bringing neighbors together and enhancing people's quality of life. And it's worth noting that on an annual basis, whether it's through direct programming, community events, or through equipment funded by our organization, Enhance West Van touches many thousands of community members' lives. As most of you know, Pumpkin Fest is our largest event of the year, and this fundraiser was a huge success in 2023. Pumpkin Fest drew a crowd of over 3,000 people and raised $35,000 net, which far exceeded our goal this past year. It is important to note that this event is entirely driven and supported by community volunteers, so we had 102 volunteers who collectively logged over 300 hours of work. We were able to showcase local talent with many of our West Van school groups performing on our live stage. The Ambleside Tiddly Cove Lions Club and the West Vancouver Fire Department cooked up and served hot dogs for the event. And Ani, once again, was our largest event sponsor. However, we did have many amazing local businesses who continue to support Pumpkin Fest every year. We also hosted 2 Forum for Dialogue and Learning events in 2023, and these events are free to the community and intended to bring people together to connect, learn, and engage on emerging topics of interest. In the spring, we held a forum on climate change adaptation, and in the fall, we hosted one on building a more connected community. Both forums were held in person and at the West Vancouver Community Centre, and were well attended and had top caliber speakers and celebrity moderators. We designed and installed a new donor wall at the Community Centre last February and hosted a donor event to showcase the new donor wall. Some of you attended the event and had the pleasure of hearing some personal stories of how life-changing some Enhanced West Van programs are for people in our community. And before I wrap up this evening, I wanted to share a quick snapshot of our 2024 priorities. We fundamentally believe that our facilities should be a place where everyone feels welcome and feels a sense of community. As always, we want to continue to foster our relationships and connections in the community and look towards a sustainable future for our organization. So many thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I hope you can organize the same beautiful day for Pumpkin Fest this year.
Sun guaranteed.
That was extraordinary. Councillor Watt.
I am so incredibly proud of the work this board does, and really proud to have had the opportunity to be a part of it and looking forward to the year ahead. And that number, 143,000, it shocks me, because when I look at the work, that this board does, the number of lives that are impacted, it is just such a phenomenal example of what, a committed group of people can do being put together. So I'm really appreciative of the time I've had with you guys and of the work that you do. Thank you. And on that note, I would like to recommend that the Enhanced West Van annual presentation be received for information, and with my most sincere thanks and on behalf of this council. Thank you.
Councillor Snyder. Thank you. Discussion, I'll call a question. All in favor? Contrary, carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last but absolutely not least, our wonderful Seniors Activity Center Advisory Board. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you for having us. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council, and thank you for the opportunity to have us present our report tonight. My name is James Ray, Senior Services and Community Recreation Manager with the District of West Vancouver, and I'm joined tonight by Jane Verner, the Chair of the Seniors Activity Center Advisory Board. And Jane will be presenting our annual report tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Verner.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and councillors. Before I start, I'd just like to make some acknowledgements. I'd like to acknowledge our SAC board members who have worked very hard this year to support staff volunteers and members of the center, and also to seniors in our community. Our board members are Brian Hahn, Faye McGuinn, June Earl, Melanie Hess, Pat Blair, Sheila Lamb, Sheila Grant, John Watson, our past chair, and Lenore Rogers, who is our current vice chair and will be chair come March. I'd like to give a shout out to Daniel Godfrey, who took minutes of our board meetings and also several of our committees. And he had a knack of keeping the board and our committees on the straight and narrow. As well, I'd like to extend a huge thanks to Councillor Peter Lambour, who was our liaison between the district and our board, and also sat on our outreach committee. And when I asked him, he was glad to join. He's been very active, given very good suggestions and reports to you, I hope. We love him, and he's a great
So do we.
advocate. He's a great advocate for seniors, let me tell you. Over the past year, we've seen a lot of changes in our staff as well as our board, but we're really excited about the team that we have now moving through 2024. And last but not least, I'd like to give a huge thanks to all the staff at the center, the senior center, and especially our managers, Alison Geltz, James Ray, and the odd time Jill Lawler is there as well, which is great. And so thanks to all of those people that have given us support. The highlights of 2023. The first thing I want to talk about is Saxon 21st.
Wow.
It's a little shop or boutique that is run by volunteers. They accept donations, they pick up donations, they clean up the donations so they're pretty sparkling new. They put the donations and items into the store, and then they sell the items. In 2023, they raised over $170,000.
Incredible.
It's quite a showcase. It's quite a come on. We have people that come regularly to the store each week to see what's for sale. So they do a tremendous job. The SAC Advisory Board, through fundraising and requests, made a commitment of $160,000 for senior programs. They bought a new steamer for the kitchen. They had a new walk-in fridge made. They bought a shuffling machine for the bridge players. The board has also paid for some luncheons, special luncheons. An example was the Remembrance Day lunch. They also funded a board member to go to Atlanta, Georgia for a aging conference in the spring. There were some operational highlights as well. The shuttle bus is the first one I want to talk about. It's now 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday. It's $3 a round trip. It goes far west as the 25th and Marine, and it goes as east as Park Royal. It operates from 9 to 3:45, 5 days a week, Tuesday to Saturday. You can flag it anywhere along the route, and the bus driver will stop. It's a $3 cost, and they also have cards that you can punch. Mm-hmm. It's sponsored by Kiwanis, Amica, the West Vancouver Foundation, and also through donations. Food service at the center has really grown in this past year. Our Feed the Need program is still, we're still supporting. Our fundraising is from October 1st to December 31st. And in 2023, in that fundraising time frame, we have raised more than $102,600. There are about 100 people living in low-cost housing, government housing, that are on the list for Feed the Need. They get 3 meals a week. The cost is approximately $2,400 per week to provide this service. We partner with the West Vancouver Foundation this year. Thursday night dinner started in the spring. Very popular. Chef Lee is the one that cooks the meals. He is a great chef. Everyone really loves the dinners at between 5 and 7, so if you have nothing to do on a Thursday night, come for dinner. Dinner's sold out on several occasions. The last dinner of the year, last Thursday, on a Thursday, we sold 205 dinners.
Wow.
Takeout is really another part of the center, takeout meals, which is doing very well and is increasing. And that's takeout dinners, soups, salads, sandwiches, and even a few baked goods. I'm a cashier at noon on Wednesdays, and from what I can see, I don't have the stats, but from what I can see, a lot of younger seniors are buying meals and soups, etc., for their parents so that they can stay at home, age at home, and also have healthy meals. Also, a lot of senior or elder seniors are also buying and come through my till. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 dinners. I'm talking about they're buying 10, 15 dinners and soups, and they're back the following week to repeat. So that's a thriving business right at the moment. For people that have mobility issues, they can phone the center and put in an order for food, and if it's over $25, there's no delivery charge. And so this is keeping people at home as well and having nourishing meals. We hosted the Senior Expo this year, and it was a great success. The sessions were all filled. Many people were turned away. Many of the guests wondered why we didn't have it for 2 days instead of just 1. The vendors that were in the community center gymnasium, they said it was the largest crowd they've had of any of the expos. Our priorities for 2024, we want to implement the initiatives and suggestions from the district volunteer roundtable into our standard of practice for our volunteers. We also want to host the Senior Expo, and the date's been chosen. It's going to be June 7th this year. We're continuing to create awareness of senior outreach in the community. During part of the pandemic, we did have an outreach worker, and unfortunately the position was not continued to be funded. And we've put in a 0.6 request for an outreach worker, and hopefully when that is filled, we'll be able to resume some of the services that we did have prior. The other thing we want to do this year is complete the Senior Center Feasibility and Needs Assessment. A small group of staff and volunteers were working with HCMA, an architectural firm, to do the feasibility and the needs study. Last December, we did present a preliminary report of what we knew at the time. The final report should be done within the next month or so, and then there will be another presentation to you as council. We also will continue with Feed the Need and the growth for that. And our campaign being August 1st to December 31st, it doesn't stop there. Money keeps trickling in even past the deadline. And if any of you are feeling generous and wanting to contribute, we'll accept your money any time of the year. In closing, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, for your support in enabling our senior center to support our most vulnerable seniors in our community. James and I now welcome any of your questions.
Thanks very much. Just as a little bit of a side note, not a discussion for tonight, but I would really appreciate the opportunity to talk about expanding the bus service for seniors. And I really feel, I mean, we have Libby Lodge out in Horseshoe Bay. Those seniors have no service, and they should. I just think I'll lobby TransLink to get additional funding, whatever we can do to expand that service. I think it's vital. And it's an opportunity for us to try a little bit of transit on demand and just show people it can work. So most sincere thanks. Councillor Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, James and Jane, for your presentation. It's been a pleasure working with you as the council liaison to the advisory committee, and I'm always impressed with your energy and innovation. The advisory center, this SAC, has embarked on some initiatives that have been recognized across North America. The very successful Feed the Need program that you talked about is amazing, and I think has funding now for a number of years yet to come, serving a really, really important need. And you're often sort of cited by our seniors advocate in BC, Isabel McKenzie, as one of the best senior centres in the province, and it's a well-deserved recognition. There's so much more to do, but you've outlined an ambitious program for 2024, and I certainly hope with the support of Mayor and Council we can help you on the path to success. So again, thank you very much for your work, and on that I'd like to recommend that the Seniors Activities Centre Advisory Board annual presentation be received for information with thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary carried. Thanks again. Well, everyone, thank you for those really very inspiring presentations and for all of the service that you provide to our community and just make this a great place. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. I'll ask Councillor Snyder for a motion.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to recommend that the consent agenda items as follows be approved. Item 15.1 regarding Council's strategic plan for 2024 and 2025. Items 15.2 regarding the North Shore Advisory Committee on Disability Issues, review of the 2023 committee work, and 2024 work plan. And item 15.3 regarding delegation request.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? And that would be Councillor Lambert. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary carried.
I didn't mean to clear the room. Sorry.
Here we are.
I tell you.
Okay.
I tell you, wow.
We've got adoption of committee meeting minutes. I'll ask Councillor Watt to make that motion, please.
I'd like to recommend that the following minutes be adopted as circulated. January 31st, 2023, Lower Caulfield Advisory Committee meeting. November 8, 2023, Community Engagement Committee meeting. November 16, 2023, Design Review Committee meeting. November 29, 2023, Heritage Advisory Committee meeting. And November 29, 2023, Glen Eagles Community Center Advisory Committee meeting, and the December 12th Public Art Advisory Committee meeting, and community grants meeting notes are going to be tweaked and deferred to a subsequent meeting.
Okay. Councillor Gambioli.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you. Call a question. All in favor? Contrary carried. And item number 17, I'm just giving notice of motion that I'd like to bring forward for Council's consideration next week, and I know it's going to be really controversial, the finding a way to improve the parking area in front of St. Francis in the Wood that was on our agenda back in November of 2022. Still not done. So, finally, are there any reports? Councillor Gambioli, anybody?
I just wanted to add on that note, for next week on the notice of motion, the motion from May 15th was that it be deferred for further discussions with St. Francis in the Wood Church. So for next week, I think it would be great to see a summary of the further discussions with St. Francis in the Woods, because I don't know anything that has happened since May 15th. And it would be great to please have a map that show the property lines, et cetera, in the area and exactly what place we're talking about.
Excellent. I agree, and I think there'll certainly be, I expect representatives of St. Francis in the Wood. I know they're anxious to see something happen here. Any reports, Councillor Cassidy?
Sir Gambioli's point, if we could actually see a picture
Okay.
what we're talking about. Maps are delightful, but a picture speaks 1,000 words.
It sure does.
Thank you.
I'll see if somebody's got a picture on one of the nice muddy days. There we are. There's no need for a motion. That's just a notice of motion. So are there any reports anyone wants to bring forward at this time? I suspect not over the Christmas holiday. Are there any public questions this evening? And seeing none, may I have a motion to adjourn? Councillor Cassidy.
Yes, it's recommended the January 15th, 2024 council meeting be adjourned.
Thank you. Councillor Watt. Second that. Call the question. All in favor? Contrary carried. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the evening. I'm going to go